Hey guys, it's Sandra from Inspired Keyboardist, and today I'm very excited to show you a review video of Peter James' Ultimate MainStage Collection 3. So when I first found out he released this collection of MainStage patches, I was extremely excited because you might know from following my social media that I am a Hillsong Young and Free fan, right? I just love the music. I'm extremely impressed with like the way the music is arranged and the quality of the sounds and the synths. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. I had to get this patch bundle. So Ultimate MainStage Collection 3, it comes with quite a lot of sounds that are in the Rhodes category, as well as pads, and there's also puff pads and leads. So I'm gonna break up my video review into 3 parts. So today's video is going to be all about the Rhodes or Wurly or piano. And then the next second video in the series is going to be about pads. And then the third one's gonna be about puff pads and leads. So here I am, I've already set up my concert, I've already mapped the parameters, and I am all set to play. And let's get started with Rhodes Mellow. So the first sound goes like this. Nice and mellow. Some of the things to take note of is the fact that they've got quite a few interesting functions. We've got the shimmer. So that's quite easy to understand because it just makes the sound go. If I just turn everything off, just for the sake of, I'm just explaining this particular sound. It's kind of dry at the moment. If I turn on shimmer, you can hear that echo at the top. Right? And then there's reverb. Some of these parameters might change, so you might want to just pay attention to what words they are on the patch. Whenever you're on that patch, it changes. So at the moment, it's a reverb. Creates this little extra verb sound. And then we've also got something to explore called the detunes. So Peter James is really big on this whole detune thing, which is kind of cool, but when used to the extreme, it can get a little bit annoying. So I'm just gonna demonstrate, like, some of them don't have detune, so you need to check which ones have the detune. So the ones with the titles bracket detune will definitely have the detune function. So like if I max out my detune, and then there's also a second kind of detune called LFO detune. I'm not going to try to explain why there are two. Go watch the original video. So detune happens for a few kinds of patches only. So this one doesn't have the detune function, so let's move right on. So just to explain, we've got the tap tempo going on. We've also got the panic button, so just hit the panic button if your sound happens to freeze, and then everything will be restored. There is the freeze on button, which works on some patches to hold on to the freeze to a note so that it freezes, and it holds it on extra for you. You don't even have to play anything. So I'm gonna turn the freeze off, and then output being the main volume. So the mod wheels adjust different kinds of parameters, so I will highly suggest that you try it out and figure out which features it changes for different sounds. Because like Rhodes Mellow, if I turn on, and you can hear that it pans from right to left a lot if my mod wheel is rolled all the way up. So if I change the tempo to something like 1, 2, 3, 4, I got a little bit annoyed from that because it's like the sound goes from your right to the left ear. So I am probably not going to turn it all the way up because it gets very obvious that way. I'm going to turn it halfway or something if I really want that traveling sound, the pan right and left effect. So we're going to move right along to Whirly Face. So this face being from the song in the youth revival album by Hillsong Young and Free, it would be the song Face to Face. And let's just play around with that for a while. I think it would be a good idea to tap the tempo first. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's got a really thick, nice, warm sound to it as well. If we just play around with the detunes, it's quite a different sound effect. I think it's that would be the LFO detune that's responsible for that weird sound. So it doesn't really detune that well for this one. I'm also going to up my verb and shimmer to about the midpoint. And if we go all the way, I find that it gets a little bit too muddy, so I probably won't recommend going all the way, but see if it fits your mood for the moment. And then of course the mod wheel, we gotta go check it out, right? So yeah, it has that very weird kind of like moving sound thing again. I don't really fancy it, so we're just gonna keep it down. I think it works best with the V-verb and yeah, both V-verbs, so. Cool. Let's move on to Rhodes Forever. And this one's fixed at 83 BPM, so it's got a delay to it. So if you turn it all the way up, and if you turn it down, then you won't hear any delays. Right? So if you go to Rhodes Forever, which is the same one, but this time you can switch the tempo around, and I'm gonna just change the tempo. And that's with the delay, so if I turn the delay down, turn the mod wheel up, it's got the traveling sound, which I find very annoying, so I'm just going to keep it to about midpoint, and then let's just play around with the detunes. Okay, so it doesn't seem to have a detune function. It's nice, as you've seen, quite a variety of Rhodes and electric piano sounds to choose from. So Rhodes Hurts, and that would be from Even When It Hurts. Just playing around with that. So it's got a nice distancy, echoey sound. I am going to just play around with the, whoa, everything's pretty high up. I'm just going to lower everything down first, and we'll just hear how shimmer, maybe with nothing. It's already a very wet sound on its own, so if you bring up the shimmer, I feel like it makes it a little bit way more muddy, so I might not even use a shimmer for this. V-verb. Yeah, I feel like it doesn't really add a whole lot more verbs to it, so I'm not gonna worry about whether I use it or not. We'll just keep it at midpoint. And then let's play around with, actually if I turn that down and I turn on the detunes, Yeah, it doesn't really detune anything as well. So if I move the mod wheel, nope, not a lot of difference. So there, that's Rhodes Hertz. I'm gonna probably only use this when I need something that's really wet. Moving on to synthetic analog Rhodes. So here's a special one. So you can hear this delay going on if I just mute everything and everything's down at the moment. It's almost got this distorted patch to it at the back, and then also it sustains, so it can be used as a pad as well. Unlike everything else I've already talked about, which do fade, this one holds on. Yeah, it doesn't really fade. And what I do want to point out is that the delay doesn't seem to be able to be switched off. So yeah, you're going to have that delay unless you go to the channel strip and switch it off yourself. So I'm going to now play around with the other features. Mod wheel doesn't seem to make a difference. Nice warm echoey effect that the shimmer does. Not a lot of function from the reverb in my opinion. And let's play around with the detune. Yeah, nothing much there either. So there, we've got synthetic analog Rhodes, which I feel, yeah, can be used more like I think I'll use it as a pad in a not very quiet song. So it could be a mid-tempo song or a praise song. So let's see if changing the tempo will change anything. So when you tap in the tempo, it changes the delay's rhythm as well. So the speed at which the delay happens. So that kind of works very nicely. Okay, so Rhodes reverse is kind of cool. So I'm just holding all these notes down and not even lifting up my fingers yet until now. And you can hear like it goes up and then comes down again. So it's got a very nice backwards effect to it. And it doesn't cut at the end, so it kind of fades at the back. So if I were to do a chord progression, really cool. I think I'll use it for like a relatively quiet section and for a pad that's gonna surprise people. Yeah, because you know it actually swells and then goes down again, right? So, yep. Moving on to reverse piano, which is supposed to be made famous by Oceans. Right, so I don't really have a problem with this except that whenever you play, it sort of delays in its onset. So it makes me feel like if I don't press earlier, I might actually hold everyone back. So I'm gonna say the word, I'm gonna say play when I play, okay? So play. Right. So when I release my fingers, the sound cuts after a while, but it otherwise holds. And yeah, I find that a little bit slow in its coming. So not very comfortable with using it unless I am very well rehearsed with exactly when it matches with the prevailing harmony, and so I don't clash with the rest of the band. So hey, that's it for the Rhodes, Wurly, or piano section of Peter James' Ultimate MainStage Collection 3. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. If you really want to find out how I play worship keys, you want to do it in 31 days, I've got an ebook called 31 Days to Better Worship Keyboard Playing. You can check that out right in the description below. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the second video where I talk about the pads section. See ya!